Welcome to another episode of the Good Guys Podcast, a Christmas episode of the Good Guys Podcast. Hope you guys have a happy holidays. It'll probably be our last podcast before Christmas. I don't know, JE, if you want to do one for Christmas next week when it's like Christmas, but
you're the one with 4 kids, bro. So it's on you.
So with that said, we will probably not have one next week, but we're here for you today. My name is Brandon Dixon, and I am a happily married man and a father of 4. And as always, I am here with the Honorable, the Reverend Joshua Ezzy.
Hey, what's up, B, man? How you feeling, bro? I'm glad to be here another week, man. Another week of funny, I hope.
I certainly hope so. We try really hard. Yeah. But we got a great show for you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Josh, are you ready?
Born ready, bro. Let's get right into it, man.
All right. So we're going to start, as usual, with the weekly airing of grievances. Mm-hmm. And this one, you know what? I got something I want to talk about because I know I sent you the rundown of what I was going to talk about for my weekly airing of grievance.
Yeah,
but something just happened.
Uh-oh.
On the way back. So, as I told you, it was my my wife's birthday yesterday. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, babe, if you're listening. She normally doesn't, but if you are, shout out to my wife. My beautiful wife, her birthday was yesterday. So
she's supporting the babies right now. She'll support you later.
That's right. I'll give her a pass. So, I took her and the kids down to Niagara Falls.
That's crazy.
For the weekend.
You that high up north, bro, that you got to go down to Niagara Falls.
Yeah. We went to Niagara Falls. That was actually going south for us. We are up here. So, we went to Niagara Falls. It was awesome. It was beautiful to see. If you're ever up this far north, which most people probably won't be, but if you ever get the chance, I think it's one of the 7. Is it one of the 7 wonders of the world?
Man, I'm not sure.
Either way, it's pretty cool. So anybody who lives up north, I know we got a couple people who listen to the podcast that are, because they've left comments in the comment section. But anyway, Anyone who lives up north is probably aware that when you travel, apparently you have to pay to use the highways. It's called a toll.
Oh yeah, we don't got that down here, bro.
We don't have that down south. Now this was new to me. So I get up north. And, to get on the highways, you have to pay a toll. That alone made me very angry because, it's not like I'm not getting taxed up here. We still get taxed. But yet I have to pay tolls to use the highway.
Yeah.
Fine. Fair enough. So, now some of the tolls are like $1. That's cool.
That's not bad.
You know what I mean? I got that in the glove compartment. I got some spare change. Bam. $1. Let's keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
We come across a toll on the way back, and it's $6.50.
$6?
$6.50. And I'm like,
we parking.
I didn't have a choice. I had to go through the toll. I had to get home.
That was just
but it's like
knee-jerk reaction. I'm sorry. Knee-jerk reaction. Yeah.
Hey, I had the same reaction, but unfortunately I came back to reality and realized that I have no choice whatsoever.
You have a wife and 4 kids.
Exactly. So $6.50. And here, I don't mind. I do mind paying it, but they don't accept like anything but cash, and that was the problem for me.
Hey, swipe.
Exactly. I don't carry cash like that. Number one,
$6.50 in cash.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if it was just me,
bruh. I don't carry cash because I work at a school. You know what I'm saying? I don't carry cash for a lot of reasons, man. I lose cash, man. I found $10 in the pants the other day. Bro, cash is hard to keep up with, bro.
Also, I don't want to get robbed.
That's true. By the time you take my card to the next convenience store, I done canceled that thing. I can't cancel cash.
I have promptly made the proper authorities aware.
Bro, I whistle. If someone stole my wallet, you can have it, sir. Because I have no cash.
No cash. I will promptly call Wells Fargo and cancel all of my cards.
I'll cancel all of my cards, and I'll get my card tomorrow.
So I don't carry cash. All right, so get to the toll, and the guy's like, $6.50. I was like, hey, bro, I don't have $6.50. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he pulls out this long, extensive form. Felt like I was at the DMV or something. He sat there for like 15 minutes filling out a form. He gets my license plate number, gives me the form and tells me, hey, you got to go to this website to pay the toll. Cool. I reach out to grab the form from him, and he holds the form. He doesn't release it. And he says, so now you know going forward that you have to have money to get on the highways up here.
What? That man was waiting all day to express that his level of authority.
And I had to pull out the Canton Jones. I had to pull that song out and I had to play it because I looked at my wife and I was like, did this guy just try me? Like, did I just get tried by this guy in front of my wife and 4 kids?
There's a lot of reasons to be afraid of having a family for me one day. But the number one thing I hope never happens to me is to be tried in front of my family.
And this guy was like, he's like skinny, he's Caucasian, brown hair.
You should have slapped him and kept driving.
He's got glasses. Like, okay, look, hey, I was a dork growing up, so I can say this. Like, he was a dork. And, and I'm like, did I just get tried by this guy?
Bruh, he had you hanging on to a sheet of paper, bruh.
Right. I'm like, if you don't let go of that sheet of paper and raise this gate so I can drive
that
fast.
Man was trying to see how strong he was, dog. He was like,
bruh,
that's when, look, bruh, I don't know, bruh. I don't handle disrespect real well, bruh. I don't.
Okay. I wanted to run that one by you because I just, I didn't know did I just get punked by this guy? Like, did I?
That man, you the first dude that didn't have cash for the tolls, bruh. And he was like, oh, I'm about to let this man. Man, you ever met, like, that's what makes me laugh about security officers, man. It's like, they be wanting to try you, but I'm like, bruh, you are not, like, what are you going to do? By the time I slap you and trip you, by the time you call the cops, I'm gone, bruh.
Right.
Don't be trying to put your authority on me, bro. I know who I am in Christ, bro. I know who I am, bro.
Man.
But these people don't know who they are, man. When you got jobs like that, bro, that's gotta suck to sit at a toll all day.
And that's what I told myself to console myself as I drove away. I said,
yeah.
He is a toll booth operator.
Right? TBO.
And, hey, you got to do what you got to do out here to pay the bills. I'm not hating on anyone's hustle.
That's wise, man. Sometimes you got to talk yourself out of whooping somebody's behind.
Exactly.
Bro.
And that's
you got to look at your life and be like, you know what? No one, they're upset for a reason.
Exactly. And I think that's a lesson to take from the Good Guys podcast today. Sometimes when that person tries you at McDonald's, when you asked for 2 apple pies, they only gave you 1 and it was cold. Realize that instead of hopping over that counter and beating them, know that they work at McDonald's. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people work at McDonald's, nothing wrong with that. But it's better than beating their behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it like this, man. That's why I respect the people at crummy jobs who are happy to be there.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking. If you're not happy to be there, don't help me.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Don't help me. My thing is, I've had a lot of bummy jobs.
Exactly.
But it didn't change my attitude because I knew this wasn't the highest of the altitude that I was going to be. This ain't the end for me. The people who are their meanest, they know that the place that they are is the end for them. That's why I don't pay them no attention because that's their end.
Right.
This is my transition. This is just me getting a sandwich from you, going home, enjoying my life, while you gotta wake up the next morning to flip a burger in disgust. Me?
Exactly.
Man, there've been so many times where I got a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde to me.
Mm-hmm.
You try me, I'll be mad. I'll snap for like 5 seconds, and I'll turn around and be like, laugh in your face, because I'm like,
I've seen this in person.
Yes, when I play basketball, I'll snap, and then I'll be like, you know what, bro? I'll give you the compliment. I'll give you a hug because I'm like, hold up. you're beneath me. You're beneath me. But even if that person is above me, they're beneath me in my mind. I've tried a lot of people who have more money than me.
This is very true as well.
I've tried people. I've snapped those people and then pat them on the back like I was their god or something. I was like I was their boss. Because, man, in my mind, I know where I'm going to be.
Okay.
And even though you above me right now, give me 5 years, I'll be above you. You got to think like that so you won't slap some of these entitled rich people, man. I worked at the Y. Before I worked at the school. Mm-hmm. And I dealt with some of the most entitled rich. The people that you can't slap because they sue.
Right. Exactly.
I can slap, you know, a hooper. I can slap somebody. The worst I'm gonna get is a butt whooping, probably. That's the worst I can get is getting beat up.
Right.
But I'd rather get beat up than sued, bro.
Boy,
I'd rather get beat up
before the sweat from their brow dries on your hand,
man,
they have sued you.
They have sued you, bro, like an automatic sue app or something on their phone. Like they push the button, take a picture of you, and you sued.
They have an app for that now.
They have an app for that, probably. Sue them app. Sue them now.
Man.
I don't got time, bro. That's why I'd be like, you know what, man? I kill them with kindness, and I keep it moving, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Because being tried in front of your wife's probably sleeping, your kids are just loud. So they didn't really see. But if your wife was to say, babe, you okay?
Oh, I would have had to calmly hit reverse.
Wives,
backed up to the window.
Wives, I'm telling you right now, do not instigate.
Hey, that's a
Don't
critical
ask me
point.
if I'm okay. Don't ask me if I'm okay. Don't tell me I can't believe you let him do. Listen.
Because that's what saved me in this instance. I looked to my wife and I was like, if she gives me that look like I'm a punk right now, I'm going to have to whip this bitch behind. But she looked at me and she said, babe, just keep driving. He's a toll booth operator. I said, thank you, babe.
Because if she would have looked at you crazy,
man,
and was like, you going to let that man try you, bro?
You going to let that man try you like that?
Next on Up North News.
An African-American man was detained on the side of Interstate 90.
Man, they got cameras around the booths, bro.
Man. I'm out on the floor.
Out of his toll booth compartment, pulled him out, beat him profusely.
Boy.
We got his wife right here. What happened? I told him, I can't believe you allowed this.
Wow.
He went crazy.
What did you expect?
Man, dude, listen, man. Women, y'all are peace.
Yes.
We're your rock, you are our pillow.
Yes. If your man is in a sticky situation in which his manhood is in question, please tell him to walk away and that you still believe that he is a strong man and you feel protected and secure. That's all we need to hear.
But don't turn away and chuckle after you say that.
No.
Don't turn away.
Because that's just
I'm going to have
bad.
to put the car in reverse, and then I'm going to have to slap the man. Because you chuckled. I have to slap him.
I have to.
Bruh. Man, I'll tell you right now, don't laugh. Even if my seat is all the way up and my seatbelt and my hands are on 10 and 2, you treat me like a thug with his seat laid back and his hand at the 12 o'clock hour. You treat me like him.
That's
Even if I talk polite and talk properly, you make me feel like I cussed them out. Okay,
that's all we ask. Come on, like we're the good guys, okay? We're the ones that you want.
Guys. My hands are on 10 and 2.
No, we're at 10 and 2. Okay?
If it's not 10 and 2, I'm at 7 and 5.
Exactly. Let us feel like we're a thug, and at any moment could pop off on a toll operator.
I'm crazy, girl. I'm crazy.
You sure live. You crazy, babe. I'm glad you ain't whip his behind. That's what I need you to tell me.
And call me a savage. Call me what they call these young guys. Call me 31 Savage.
Not 31. Not 31.
31.
31 Savage. 31.
Call me 31.
31 Savage, boo. You would have, boo. I know you would have. Just, I'm glad you
you
drove off.
You started driving the car, your hands on 10 and 2. You right, babe. I was about to go off on him.
I was about to beat in your chest. I was about to go off on him. You know what I'm saying? You better be glad. You better be glad you stopped me, boo.
You better be glad. You better be glad, bro.
Oh, man.
Nah, that's funny.
That
man.
is...
There's a split second, women, that you can guide us. In that split moment, we're either back to normal and feel like a man that we are, or we got to prove our manhood.
We've got to prove it. And God forbid there be a guy who's bigger than us and can actually beat the living daylights out of us. Because, because the day I get beat up in front of my wife and kids.
Man, you got to die, bro.
You're going to have to take me out, man.
Bro, listen, bro. You want to die today, or when I get out of the hospital, I'm going to come find you.
This must be settled.
This must be settled, bro. I will wake up from that coma. I must finish him.
I cannot discipline my kids and have them take me seriously. If a man just beat my behind in front of them.
You got to go. You got to go, bro. Now, you know what? You would never beat my behind because I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man, bro. Lord, I pray you never have me in that situation because I might have to have a prison ministry.
Yeah. I might have to. I'm left with no choice.
I'm left with no choice. Man, I'm telling you, man, all that Christianese and Christian stuff is out the window when our flesh is tried. I tell you.
Then my old lady is making me feel like I'm getting punked right now. Like, that's man,
what. Listen. First off, bruh, honestly, man, I don't even frequent areas with people like that. So that's why I don't when it's the hood. If I need gas, I'll go a little bit.
Going up.
Nope.
Going up the Ray Road.
Bro, I'm going straight up the Ray Road Colony, bro. I'm over there. Try me and Blakeney, bro. Try me. See me on the south side, man. Meet me on the south side, bro.
On the south side, I bet you won't be.
The worst she's gonna get in the rich area is a good argument. Is a good back and forth.
Right. A healthy verbal party.
A healthy verbal exchange between two people. But in the hood, you might lose your life, bro.
Oh, man.
And if you, bro, nah, bro, it's irrational over there, bro.
Exactly.
When I play basketball, that's why I be playing in the.
No, why you don't be at the Dow, Josh?
Bro, I frequent Dow sometimes.
Nah, you don't be at the Dow, dog.
Nah, I be at the Dow hooping, bro. Shout out to all my brothers out there, man. I used to work there, man. I go out there, man. It's just a bunch of Westbrooks up there, bro.
Nah, you be at the GlaxoSmithKline. What's the one downtown?
Don't be telling people where I go, bro.
My bad. I ain't gonna put
just know I be playing 3-on-3.
You be playing with the execs after they get off work. They take the elevator over to the.
Honestly, B, I don't know who's worse to play with. I don't know if it's worse to play with hood people or finance execs or bank execs. I don't know which one's worse.
It's about even. I'm gonna be honest.
It's about even. It's horrible, bro. Playing in the hood, you ain't gonna get the ball. You gotta get your 40.
Right.
You got to get your 40 unless you're playing with college players. Like, you in the hood and it happened to be that time where, there's college athletes and overseas players are there and you able to, pick and roll, pick and pop, where the people got the IQ. But if you see dreads beyond and you start seeing tattoos everywhere, you ain't getting the rock.
You're not.
You was not getting the rock unless he got a jersey from a college that he plays for. But when you go and play these execs, bro, oh, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst, bro. I didn't foul you, Billy. No, John. No, that wasn't a foul.
And I mean, it's like Law and Order. Like,
it's Law and Order. I'm like, man. Judge G, like, where You got evidence to prove? I got the cameras out. I'm like, bruh.
I got my camera.
I'm like, bruh, man, can we just
handbook
play?
says in paragraph 5.
Yeah, I'm like, man, bruh. They call travel, they call everything, and
3 seconds in the key.
3 seconds in the key, bro. This
over
is
the back.
3-on-3.
Just because I got bounced and jumped over, you got the rebound, doesn't mean that.
Man, I was playing basketball last Tuesday, man, and they was arguing about take back. I'm like, bro, didn't y'all tell me everything is take back? No, well, he tapped it out. No, you told me everything was take back. So when I tip it, that's a change of. No, it has to be change of possession. My hand touching the ball is change of possession. But you gotta grab it. I said, bro, check up, man. And then there's a black guy try to, man. I was like, bro, y'all gonna make me fight one of y'all and lose everything I ever built, bro. So I had to calm down, and I went on we won 7 games, lost 1. But once I'm triggered, bro, I start balling, bro. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
But But what was your other area of grievances you wanted to talk about, man? What was the other one? That was a pretty good one, too. Or did we kind of touch on that?
We touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to save that one because we actually went a little longer than I thought we were
going to.
Oh,
okay. Let's ride.
I'm going to save that one for next week because it's important and it needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
What's that?
We've been going 22. My bad, bro.
Is that
Let's change it up.
All right. So we're going to go on to a news story that I thought was pretty interesting.
All
right. So this happened in
hometown.
The hometown. Mm-hmm. So TCBY.
I don't even know who
frozen
goes
yogurt.
I don't know what
frozen yogurt establishment.
Why does people go to TCBY? I don't understand it.
That's a good question.
Let you finish. Go ahead.
So at a TCBY in Providence, area, Charlotte, in Providence, they found a mail a box that was shipped to TCBY that contained over $200,000 in marijuana.
Whoa, where was I?
Right. So now this box, apparently they said it wasn't supposed to have been shipped to TCBY. They said it was supposed to have been shipped to the post office next door. Now, number one.
Okay.
I didn't know TCBY still existed.
I didn't either, bro.
I did not know that. Now,
I think I'm in front.
I remember back in the day when, your mom would try to take you and reward you for some good behavior or something like that. And my mom would take me to TCBY, and I remember being very angry. And, what the heck, Mom? Okay. Okay, this is not ice cream. What the heck, Mom?
TCBY
this is not ice cream. This what you're trying to pass off on me is somewhat tasty, but this is not ice cream.
This is not ice cream, bro.
That's number one. Now, number two.
Mm-hmm.
I do not sell marijuana.
Neither.
Nor do I partake of marijuana.
Neither do I.
Never have, never will.
Mm-hmm.
However, is this how business is done?
You talking about in the drug trade?
Well, yeah. Okay, so I always figured, and I've watched some TV shows.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought that getting the drugs from point A to point B without detection is one of the most difficult things to do. So I would kind of think it would be more of a situation where, somebody, in logistics at TCBY who works in the shipping and, they had you, shipping the weed in a box that's supposed to be labeled as rainbow sprinkles or something like that. And, you know what I mean? And then,
Yeah.
From there, it's picked up by a black van in the back and taken to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Are we just putting weed in boxes and shipping it through the post office?
Bruh, I don't know, man. We got to bring somebody.
I mean, I didn't know. Like, is that how it works?
First off, was there a number? Because if it was me, non-preacher Josh, I'm like, who does this belong to so I can get a 10th?
Oh no!
So I can get a piece of it. Because listen, I can report you, or you can report a tenth to me. What do you want?
Right.
What?
Like
$220,000 worth of weed?
There had to have been some kind of contact information in there. I would think.
Listen, if you pushing that kind of weed with that kind of money, like whoever dropped the ball has been dropped 6 feet under. Whoever dropped that ball, that's a lot of money, bro.
That's the third point. Somebody dropped the ball on a number of levels. Number one is shipping it through the post office, because that just cannot be a good idea.
Can't be.
Number two, you didn't ship it to the right place. You shipped it to TCBY. Parents were trying to enjoy semi-sweet yogurt treats, frozen delights with their children.
Hey guys, we got a new flavor in at TCBY.
Somebody got some weed froyo. And somebody. That's probably how it was discovered. Like, some kid probably got some weed froyo and said, "Mom, this tastes funny." And where did this come from?
They thought it was a Christmas edition.
Right. They thought it was the holiday limited edition Christmas tree froyo.
Christmas tree froyo.
It was some trees, but it wasn't Christmas.
Oh man, imagine going to TC. Do TCBY? I haven't been there in years. Do they got like the like Sweet Frog and Coke? Like, do they have like the little areas where you self-serve? Like, you put the toppings on yourself?
I don't know. I didn't know they still existed, Josh.
Man, but TCBY be in the rich areas, bro.
This is Providence.
This is Providence. But I was like, bruh, when I think ice cream, I don't think TCBY. I think Cold Stone, then Sweet Frog, right? That's just if I'm out, right?
Right.
But you mean to tell me the box was just sitting outside of TCBY? Like, somebody wasn't led by the Spirit that day. Somebody wasn't. Man, I'm like, Lord, is this how you want to bless me? What do I need to? I'm just joking. I don't believe in selling the or smoking them. But listen, I was gonna inquire of the Lord that day.
Man.
How much is this worth, Father?
How much is this?
How much?
I have to call up one of my hood.
Hey, yo.
Now, I've got a box. I put it on a scale. It's about 3 or 4 pounds. How much are we talking as far as value on the street for this marijuana?
Hey, yo, bro, that thing about 250,000. Oh, okay. Thank you, T.
Thanks, T. By the way, this was a completely hypothetical situation.
Coach Josh hasn't been preaching for the last 4 or 5 We caught him on the west side with $220,000 worth of.
Man.
Ooh,
anyway,
man, that person. That's got it. That's man, bro. Dealing with stuff like that, man. You make sure the address is correct.
You can't get that wrong, man.
Or did someone just drop the box and maybe, because the post office was right beside TCBY, did the box just fall off the truck or something?
I don't know. Somebody dropped the ball, man. Somebody dropped the ball.
So somebody had some weed froyo, bro.
Somebody had some weed froyo. That's what I believe.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, man, that's the Lord whoever dropped that ball, man, he's calling you. He's letting you know right now that you need to let that go and trust in him.
Let that dream
go.
Be tough. You are not.
How's God? That's a tough conversation to have with God. You want me to trust you with $220,000 worth of weed? Can I sell this first and then trust in you? But God's like, nah, man. Trust me.
Yeah, Christianity would be tested.
Yeah, it would be tested. My preacher card would be tested. But I know.
Put in the comments, and we will not judge you. What
would you do?
You would take the weed and make financial profit off of it, or if you would turn it into the proper authorities.
Boy, I think I'm gonna hold on to that box about a good 2 days and fast or something.
Fast.
I gotta fast, bro. I gotta know, Lord, if I do the right thing, will you do right by me? If I do the right thing, Lord, will you do the right thing by me?
All right. That's that's enough of that foolishness.
All right, cool. Oh, just to let y'all guys know before y'all start commenting, I wouldn't even mess with the weed. I'll just let y'all know that right now.
We do not condone the use or sale of marijuana here on the Good Guys podcast.
Goodbye podcast.
The Goodbye podcast.
Goodbye, because we got weed to sell.
Stop. Oh, man. All right. So I'm going to switch it up. We're going to talk about something that is semi-serious.
Oh, gosh.
That will actually have some substance.
All right. Okay, I'm here for that.
So this is something that was birthed out of our trip to Niagara Falls. Me and my wife were talking on the way up there about the roles of men and women in the household.
Man.
And I think it's a good conversation to be had. Like,
answer those questions so PC.
I know. Like, we're going to have to tiptoe around a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to have to make sure we don't step on anyone's toes or hurt anyone's feelings. But I think it's an important conversation because today's woman, you know, excuse me, wants to be seen, not all women, but I think a lot of women these days want to be seen as, you know, independent financially, you know, able to go to school, you know, obtain various degrees and just be successful in the same workplace as men are, you know, successful in the same way. I feel that I don't know. Okay, I feel in a perfect situation, an ideal situation, that it's best for the man to be the provider and the breadwinner, and for the wife to take care of the home and the children and the affairs of the house. Now, that is an ideal situation, how I feel. Granted, there's a lot of different situations and circumstances. Of course, so I don't feel like there is a right answer to that at all. That is my opinion.
Yeah. And
I'll share my reasons, but how do you feel?
I mean, of course, being a reverend on the show, just joking.
Take it to the word.
I gotta take it to the word, you know. And one of the key texts that really highlights roles is women submitting themselves to their husband sacrificing for their woman, right? Those are I believe the main pillars of roles, right? And how it frames itself to ensure that your family thrives, your relationship thrives, that's predicated by case-by-case scenarios, right?
Exactly.
For me, when it comes to the word submission, certain women cringe because that's not the American way, right?
Right.
It's the African way, it's the Latino way, the South African way to a degree. A lot of these cultures have adopted the original standpoint on submission, right? Now, the beautiful thing about being a believer and being renewed by Christ and being led by the Spirit of God is that you, through the Holy Spirit, can arrange the marriage, right? There is some benefit to the arrangement of marriages, right? Olden days, they arranged marriages because those families knew the children. They knew what they were going to do. I'm talking about the good-hearted ones, right? And so they was like, you know what? Hey, my daughter would be best with your son, blah, blah, blah. Same beliefs, same behaviors, whatever, and they'll work good together. The beautiful thing about us with God is that God can arrange who we're supposed to be with so that a woman who really has a man that sacrifices for her doesn't mind submitting.
Okay.
A man who has a submissive and loving wife doesn't mind sacrificing for her.
Right.
But in order for those roles to operate at their peak, Christ has to be in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
So I personally believe also that we were made differently, right? A good-hearted man wants to provide, like wants to work, wants to make it happen. And there's something about a woman in a relationship, in a marriage, that she wants to nurture. Like women are built to nurture. Men are built to bring in things for her to nurture.
Right.
You know, when a man gives a woman a house, she gives him back a home. When a man gives the wife sperm, she gives him a child. That they're incubators, they're nurturers. I think the enemy has designed a system after those roles, because if he can reverse the roles, he can destroy the home. If he can destroy the home, he can destroy the lineage. And when a woman is not in her place of nurturing and a man's not in his place of providing, or when a woman's not in her place of submitting and a man's not in his place of sacrificing, the home is unstable.
Right.
The scenarios are different, you know, because if the man is like, you know what, I'm not going to work, but I'm going to go to school, but my wife's going, like, if there's certain scenarios, but a man ain't going to feel like a man if he's not allowed to be a man.
Exactly.
If you want to say, hey, we're equals, like, when the Bible says you're a weaker vessel, it doesn't mean that you're not capable to do what a man does.
Exactly.
It just means that I built the man to embody that in me. You, women in me, are built to be the maximum nurturers. The man in me, I'm talking about a Christ, is built to be the provider. And when those roles are reversed without Christ and without specific situations, scenarios, you see it self-destruct. The man no longer feels like a man. You been in a situation where the kid, the husband be like, go ask your mama.
Right.
Go ask your mama, because in this whole philosophy, happy wife, happy life. Nah, my dude. Nah, G. Happy us, happy us. If I ain't happy, you ain't gonna be happy. I'm not gonna suffocate my unhappiness just for some poom poom. Like if we're in Christ, I'm gonna correct you, and I'm expecting you in Christ to correct me.
Right.
So that's my just quick. I mean, I can elaborate more, but I'll let you take it off for a little bit.
Yeah. So, and I totally agree, and I'm glad that you like made that clear. Like, absolutely, like women are capable, and in a lot of instances, even better than we are at school. You know what I mean? Like, by all means, women are more than capable of obtaining jobs and positions of relevance and importance and influence. So it's not to say that they can't. It's just, I feel like you said, God designed man and God designed woman, and he did design them, I feel like, and the word, hits on it as well, for different roles. And being married, like, I never understood it to the extent that I understand it now, ever since I've been married, because when you get married and when you have children, you understand that a mother's love for their child is different from a father's love for their child. Like, I love my kids. I'll do anything for them. But the patience and the nurturing ability that she has for them, I don't have it.
That's why it's crazy how no offense, this is, if it's not for you, being upset is evidence that the shoe is fitting, right? So if the shoe doesn't fit, you shouldn't be upset what I'm about to say, right? A woman's value cannot be in equality. It has to be in her ingenuity. And what I mean by that is, if your value is, I'm going to prove that I'm equal to a man, versus trusting how God ingenuitively designed me, or my value is in my capability God has designed for me, then you're gonna miss the beauty of being a woman, miss the beauty of being a wife, missing the beauty of being a mother, because whether you want to or not, whether you believe it or not, Satan is after the rewiring of how we were originally wired.
Right.
And men too. Men, like, I just, now we're fighting to be equal with women, or some men are fighting to prove their dominance over a woman. It's like, if you got that kind of a man, that man is
Oh,
insecure. You don't want that kind of a man. So we're not trying to say, who's stronger. We're strong together.
right.
Like,
And no, go ahead.
nah, I just think, man, instead of competing, we just got to compliment. Like I said in the video before, I'm not here to complete my wife or to compete with my wife one day. I'm here to compliment her. Something that complements another thing is whole. I'm whole, confident in myself, strengthened in my dependence in Christ. I'm complimenting you.
Right.
A half of a jacket doesn't complement an outfit. A full jacket complements an outfit, right? So we've been trying to complete each other. Or to compete with each other. We miss out on how we're supposed to connect with each other.
Exactly. Like you're most effective when different people are bringing different things to the table. If we're both doing the same thing, like to use this is a sports analogy, so everyone might not get it, but some people get it. So when LeBron James, Dwayne Wade came together in Miami, a lot of people said they're not going to work because they both do the same thing. They both they're not good at shooting threes. They want to drive to the basket, and that's how they have the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
By contrast, the Warriors, when they came together, everyone was like, oh, they're going to be amazing because they do different things. Steph Curry shoots, Klay Thompson shoots and defends, Draymond Green rebounds and defends, and, does everything, all the dirty work that nobody else wants to do. So that's when a team is at its strongest, is when you have different parts that complement each other to accomplish a certain mission. So when you have women that are wanting to do the exact same thing and prove that they can do the same thing a man could do, that's cool. And you've proven it. But what are we really accomplishing? If you have a family and you have children and the woman is, is busy and, worn out from work and things like that as the man is, who's taking care of the kids? Who's nurturing the kids? Who's taking care of the household? Who's building that home and that family unit? That's the primary job of the woman, because the man, we're just not built like that.
Yeah.
We can help you, what I mean? But that's, women are designed specifically for that purpose.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you can't make your money, you can't be entrepreneurial, you can't go out there and make it happen. But I think for both men and women, it has to be a balance. There has to be an understanding. Like, a man can't be so consumed with his work that he forgets about sacrificing for his family. A lot of men sacrifice their family for their childhood dreams, right? So we're not trying to make this one-sided. I think there's a lot of men out there who don't know their role in protecting and providing. They're good providers financially, but they're not providers emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
That's a very good point.
Man's role, a man can provide. Ladies, that's why you don't want to submit to a man who got good pockets, but don't have a gentle heart. You don't want somebody who has a lot of money and you got the best. There's a lot of women in mansions depressed. A lot of women driving their husbands Bentley depressed. A lot of women who are provided for, they eat at all these different restaurants, and a man is not there providing for her emotional, mental, spiritual needs. I tell people, you got to make sure that you have a man that can provide for all three. Because the Bible says, wash your woman with the word. Why does he say that for men? He didn't say women washing their men with the word. He said men, because men are the more logical ones. They're the less emotional ones. And I think that the woman's emotion comes into play because of her empathy, her understanding, her nurturing ability. So you have to be somewhat emotional to understand. When you're a man and you're logical, why are you crying for? Why are you crying?
Right.
This doesn't make logistical sense. I gave you this. Why are you crying? But a woman's emotional nature, nurturing ability, can see deeper at times than what a man can. But a man has to still be empathetic enough to say, you know what? I don't have to work these many hours. A man has to, before he even marries his wife, designs a system by which he is there. Not but present. Not just I'm in the house and I go to bed and my kids only see me. Now, it's one thing if it's thugging out time, it's tough times, and you got to provide the bread, then your wife will bring understanding for the kids, letting them know dad got to do this for us.
Right.
You know, I got pregnant, I got a baby, you know, he's out there busting his butt. But that man said this is only temporary.
He has a plan.
My money, he has a plan. And I think when a woman understands and a man understands their roles throughout the climate change, right?
Exactly.
Because sometimes climate can change the roles.
Exactly.
If a man gets hurt and he's sick, his wife got to bust his butt. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying a woman she can't work, she can't be entrepreneurial.
No.
Yeah.
And what I'll say, and I'll go ahead and jump in here, because there's a lot of times when absolutely you're not in a position where the man, you know, can by himself make enough to support the entire family. And my wife and I and our kids, we've been there. Like, we just got to where she doesn't have to work. But there were long stretches of time where, you know, we both had to work. What I will say is, like you said, in those periods of time, the roles change. So if your wife is also working, providing, you know, finances for the family as well, that doesn't mean that, oh, I'm a man, so I don't change the diapers and I don't help her out around the house. That's your role. No, if she's filling half of your role, then you need to be helping out with her role. So you need to roll up your sleeves, change some diapers.
I see you,
You know what I'm saying? I remember.
I see that wordplay, B.
Hey, this was, what, 7-8 months ago or a year ago. I remember you used to laugh at me because I used to be like, hey, BD, what you doing? Hey, man, I'm at the grocery store getting these groceries. Oh, no. You saw. I know you was joking, but
I was just joking.
I know you,
but that's real though.
But no, I mean, at that time, like, she was working too, like, she was tired too. So, hey, babe, I'm gonna get the groceries. You do this, I'm gonna get the groceries, and we communicate, we work it out. So, not to make anybody feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't be working, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, your circumstances dictate, you know what I'm saying, what the roles are going to be for that period of time in your life.
And that's why I tell people in any area of fellowship, there has to be flexibility. Like, you got to have enough discernment to know, like, some women and some men, they find themselves in these positions. Women can find themselves where they want to marry standards, not a person, right? So when you marry standards, you're looking for a person to match those standards, but it's impossible for everyone in every moment, in every situation, to meet those standards. That's why there's a lot of single women. There's single women out there because, hey, you know, you in a city where it's 7 women to 1 guy, right? Mm-hmm. People are some women in situations where it's just not God's timing. A lot of men and women are single today because they are selfish. And they have heightened expectations that no human can meet.
Right.
So you got this list of standards with no flexibility, no understanding. And so now when you do get that man or you do get that wife, this is who I am. I'm fixed on this. This is what a man does. This is what I saw all my life. Christ gives us the ability to be flexible because it's all about love, understanding, grace, empathy, that I die to myself. If you live every day, then your marriage is going to be loosened. But if you die every day, your marriage will be tightened. I like it wherever there's selfishness, I can almost to the T calculate when that thing is going to self-destruct. Mm-hmm. That's why everybody has to be flexible and understand that my role as a man is to sacrifice. I got to sacrifice as Christ has sacrificed for the church. I sacrifice my boyhood dreams. I sacrifice my childish ways. Mm-hmm. I sacrifice because I'm not going to always want to sacrifice that dollar.
Right.
I'm not going to, but I know I don't want to sacrifice these overtime, but I know if I'm at my son's game today, this may change everything for him. And ladies, you got to have a submissive character, man, because I promise you the right sacrificial man, you're going to submit and loosen everything off of you for that man, because that man is going to always be there. But if you're so prideful and selfish, you can have a sacrificial man in front of you right now. And you will weaken him, you will silence him, and he'll be one of those men on Thanksgiving. Go ask your mama.
Yep.
Because the vagina trumps his victory that he's supposed to have. So now he gives you the victory. He gives you the power because he needs that vagina.
Right.
And that's go ahead, B.
And that's the improper role. Like it just doesn't. I'm sorry. It's not to say that women can't make those calls or tell the kid whether or not they can do it. But it's just the concept. It's the principle that if your man has gotten to the point where he's just given up all authority and power, just go ask your mom. Like, that's a defeated man. And that is not the leader of a household that can, you know what I'm saying, protect and defend his family. Like, that's a beaten man.
Insecurities want power. Insecurities in others want power. That's why men and women have to look at their hearts and say, God, who is my role model? You got to ask yourself the question, what role have I been modeling? Mama, just because mama was a good mama don't mean everything she did was godly. Just because good God doesn't mean he did everything godly. Just because he was there and provided doesn't mean that's the biblical way. Christ has to be the role model. God has to be the one that we desire to allow his sanctification process to weed out all selfishness, all evil, all that stuff out of us. Because what I've heard is marriage is a magnifying glass. It only magnifies. That's why I work so hard to make sure I'm prepared so that when I do get married soon, I'm able to get rid of, okay, what systems are we going to have in place to ensure that you feel supported, I feel supported, that I'm flexible, that I don't have these dogmatic philosophies where this is what a man does, or this is what a woman, like, I don't got to open your door all the time. I don't got, like, it shouldn't be, I'm not saying don't do that, man, but I'm saying it shouldn't be well, you got to do this to prove to me that you love me. Nah, because if you have these systems in place that makes you feel supported and loved, you will miss out on the sacrifices that man does all the time. Or fellas, you will be so caught up in who you are, and you will be like, well, why she ain't submitting? She's tired. She's throwing it back for you tonight. She's tired. If you would have just washed the dishes last night, she would have gave it to you, bro. Instead of watching the Cowboys against the Raiders, go wash the dishes.
That's so real. It goes both ways, but that's so real. And I'm glad you're bringing that out because I don't want anybody to think that it's one-sided on the Good Guys podcast. Sometimes, exactly, when you get married and you be wanting certain things, and, I listened to the Good Guys podcast. They said these are the 3 things that you're supposed to be taking care of me, and one of them sex. Well, brother, hey, if sometimes maybe, you know what I'm saying, she busy, washing the dishes and changing the diapers, hey, maybe you can sweep the floor tonight, man. And maybe that's the little bit of energy that she was able to reserve, and she was able to throw it back for you that night.
She was able to throw it back for you, bruh. She might even do a split. You never know what's going to come out of that woman if you're sacrificial.
I told
I'm
you.
a sacrifice.
What listens to the podcast? Mama Dixon.
Okay. I had so much stuff flooding through my mind. It was about to be explicit. It's about to be explicit up in there.
Boy,
what I'm trying to say, let me bring it down from EVMA to E for everyone.
E for everyone, J.E.
All I'm trying to say, man, is the more selfless you are, the more served you will be. Listen, that's probably the most powerful thing I said all week. The more selfless you are, if you're with another selfless person, the more served you will be. And sometimes women, all they care about men is that you care and that you see. Sometimes women go overboard. They want you to read sentences that are not there. But if you're connected to her,
right,
you will be able to say, how else can I serve her? Don't serve to get the poom poom.
Right.
Just serve.
Make sure your heart's in the right place.
Make sure your heart's in the right place, because when she don't give it to you, well, I wash them dishes.
Exactly. And then she knows your heart wasn't in the right place, and then it never works going forward. So you've messed up.
Your heart has to always be in the right place. Whether you receive or you don't receive, your heart has to be in the right place, because when you do, because you work unto the Lord. And if your man is unstable right now, your woman's unstable right now, and your God is still God, Go to God and say, God, I'm going to keep being kind to this man. I'm going to still be kind to this woman. But God, I want you, through my kindness, to heap coals of fire on her or his head to renew their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So they can be able to, because when you work into the Lord will always work for you.
That's
and
right.
He'll make sure that wife and that husband will come to an understanding. These are for people who are in marriages that are unstable right now through whatever. But if you're single today, you got to check your heart and say, what are my standards and values? Are they above God, or were they given to me by God? Some of y'all right now, God done sent you to one, but your standards pushed them away. I ain't talking about godly values. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about he got to have a nose like this. He got to be 6'2". He got to be this. He got to be that. Don't get me wrong. God will give you what you like. But if you love what you like more than you love him, he will hinder what you really want because he knows you're not mature enough to handle it.
Right.
So all I got to say, know your role and shut your mouth.
Wow. It's okay.
He's talking about running for president in 2024.
I saw that. Is he really serious about that?
I don't know. He was trying to promote a show, so that's probably why he said it. to promote
what that was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Donald Trump done messed it up for everybody. Now everybody wants to run for president.
I might. No, I ain't running, bro. I'm staying up. Look, I don't got time.
Man, you my dude. But a world in which you are the leader of the free world.
Hey,
I'm going to Canada.
Bruh. The followers, the unpluggers right now, they about to curse you. We'll bring this country back to God.
Joshua's unplugged followers don't come for me. These are just jokes.
No, I don't want to be number one. I want to be number two.
Wait, what?
I don't want to be number one. In certain situations, I don't want to be number one. I want to be number two.
What are you talking about?
Number two is more powerful than number one.
How you figure?
Number two has the ear of number one.
Okay.
I'm not talking about president and vice president. We're talking about the number two in power. The number two in power reminds me of Joseph, Daniel. Okay. They were number twos.
Okay.
I'd rather be the advisor than the president. I'd rather be the guy that has the leader's ear. And now I'm a lead in my own regard. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But every leader lends their ear to someone that whoever's the most influential person has the most power.
Right. That's true.
So if the leader leans to someone else for insight, that person really has equal power almost. They may not be able to sign things into law or make things happen, but their advice could really sway.
They wrote the law.
So I'd rather be
one just signed it.
Exactly. When you're number two, you don't got to worry about the pressures of the number one. But I would rather be a Joseph and Daniel than to be the Pharaoh.
Okay. I can feel that. I can get with that.
I didn't mean to make that so deep. That's just one of those Coach Josh,
Nothing wrong with that. For those of you that say that there's no substance on the Good Guys podcast.
There's always substance, bro.
We got substance for you.
But a lot of satire.
A lot of foolishness as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're going to transition into the segment that's sweeping the nation. One gotta go.
All right. I think
Christmas edition.
Right? Yeah. I already know which one's mine.
All right. So these are going to be well-known classic Christmas movies. So one of these has to go.
Okay.
First one, Home Alone.
Nah, that's got to stay, bro.
Classic. Second, Elf with Will Ferrell.
What? Okay, go. Keep going. Sorry.
The third one, A Christmas Story.
Oh, that's bro.
Which is, with Ralphie and the little kid who gets his tongue stuck on the frozen pole. Yeah. The classic.
Yeah.
And number 4, The Preacher's Wife.
That's for the culture, bro.
For the culture.
That's for the culture. That stays alone for the culture.
That alone stays for the culture.
That alone stays for the culture, brother. I ain't letting
Not
that
to
go.
mention, I was in love with Whitney Houston at that point in my life.
Rest in peace to Whitney, man.
Rest in peace to Whitney. I also had the Lion King bed sheets that little kid had as well. Side note, just thought I was cool. Anyway.
Ruin you. Well, you married, so you don't.
What?
You're married and up north, bro. You be saying stuff that be embarrassing to yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm married, man. I'm married. You'll learn once you get married.
Show some dignity, bro. Show some dignity for yourself, brother.
I was like in 3rd grade. I had the food line. I keep saying food line. I had the Lion King bed sheets.
Food line bed sheets.
No, my gosh! If you had food line bed sheets, something is wrong.
Bed sheets.
Hey, yep, that's gonna be the title. So one's got to go, Josh.
Which one's got to go?
Yeah,
Elf's got to go.
I knew you were gonna say Elf.
Elf, Will Ferrell, man, that was weird, bro.
I don't think you appreciate the comedic genius of Will Ferrell. I don't think it's your type of humor.
Nah, that's not my type of humor, bro. It was very disturbing.
What was disturbing about it?
Man in tights, bro. And being goofy, man. You're not allowed to be goofy in tights. You're supposed to be goofy in baggy jeans, some North Face. You're supposed to be goofy in something that ain't tight. You know what I'm saying? I don't even mind you being goofy in a suit, but you goofy in an elf outfit, bro. And they was watching, huh?
Just because the man had on tight pants, he can't be, have holiday cheer.
Oh! Let a man come to visit you for Christmas with tights on. How would you feel, Brandon Dixon? How would you feel?
He'll be shot.
That man
roll up in my
sitting on your couch jumping, and every time he jump, his butt jiggles when the Cowboys score. How would you feel?
Oh man, it was. It was the story. I mean, he was.
Man, I couldn't even get to the story because of those doggone tights. How am I supposed to follow the story when my eyes? I can't even. Like, bro, that's disturbing, bro. And was he trying to find his family or something?
He was an elf. Okay, he happened. Most elves are normally small. He was abnormal. Actually, no. Somehow, I think he was an actual human being, but somehow he was raised by elves.
He was raised by elves. See, that's demonic.
Oh my gosh.
You know when you grew up in the black church. That's normal. That's the devil. That's the devil, bro. Yeah, man, what you mean he was raised by elves? He was raised by demons, bro.
Yeah, see, he was raised by demons. That's what it was.
Nah, man, Elf was just disturbing, bro. I watched it. They was watching in school this past week, which is kind of coincidence that you brought that up. And watching it as a 31-year-old, that was I was like, get the kids out of here, man. What are y'all showing these kids?
What is inappropriate for the kids to see?
A man in tights.
Oh my gosh, they can go.
And I work at a hood school, bro. I was like, man, these kids. I'm like, why y'all showing these kids this, man?
I was about to say, because if you work in a normal school, if you work at Myers Park or somewhere, they see that walking down the hall to first period.
Exactly.
All the
these
boys
kids here traumatized.
Yeah, they've never seen a man with such pants.
They never seen a man in tights, man. They was like, man, what in the world? Man, I'm surprised a bunch of dads didn't come to the school like, what you show my son, boy?
What you say?
Why y'all show my son these men in some tights, man? I'm suing.
Oh my God.
Almost got my school shot up showing this man in some tights.
Wow. So because
Elf's got to go, bro.
Elf's got.
I don't even know why. You mean to tell me you couldn't pick like Elf was easy for me, bro. So you keep it Elf? You in tights, bro? You in tights right now, bro?
I'm. Oh shoot.
You in tights, B?
Hey, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a holiday onesie. Okay.
No.
Nothing wrong with it.
Onesie is not a tights, bro. I thought. I said, are you in some Lululemons? What's that?
Lululemons? What's that?
What's those tights called that the women be wearing?
I know. You lost me on that one.
Bro, you in some women's workout pants right now?
I do not have on yoga pants, Josh.
You got on yoga pants, dog? Get Blythe on the phone, bro. Get Blythe.
I got on a holiday onesie, and there's nothing wrong
That
with
man, you so traumatized. That man tried you in that toll booth.
You know what?
That man came home, put on some tight. The only boy, I tell you, man, Elf gotta go, bro.
All right. Let me see. What do we have here? So, Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
It is a classic. Scott Macaulay Culkin. He played those two dudes for filth. I mean, they should be embarrassed.
Oh yeah,
That they played by a little kid.
I mean, watching these Christmas movies now is probably so corny, bro. Except for Christmas. What's that movie called? Christmas Story. That's the only one I can probably watch now, and it's cool.
Oh, Christmas Story still goes hard.
Yeah, they do.
But watching Home Alone in 2017, it's like those were the two most incompetent adults I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
it was. Yeah.
For me, I think that one is gonna have to go.
You're gonna keep Elf, bruh? Home Alone
was hilarious.
Nah, bruh. Home Alone taught me how to survive, G. Home Alone taught me, bruh. When I watch Home Alone, bruh, and I stayed at home by myself at 8 years old, I put them Hot Wheels, dog, on the hardwood floor, bruh.
Man, that was some bull, man. Home Alone didn't teach you how to survive. If it was some competent adults, they would have walked in and shot you and took whatever they wanted.
I was off West Wilkinson Boulevard. You right.
You right. Roll some Hot Wheels at them if you want to.
You right. But at the same time, bruh, bruh, you soft, bruh. I was gonna call you another word, but I can't call you. I can't call you, bruh. You're a happily married man with 4 kids, but right now, bruh,
and that's right. And we sit down together and we enjoy Elf because it is a family.
Bruh, don't have your sons watch Elf, bruh.
They're not gonna be walking around in those tights. I mean, you know, the kids wear skinny jeans these days.
Don't let me find out your son's in ballet, bro. Don't let me find out. You won't invite me to. You've been telling me all these years your son playing for Duke, but come to find out he's the bottom of the cheerleader squad. Don't let me find out, bro, that one of your sons out here, dog.
Look, man, there's nothing in Elf that would cause any of my sons to take that path and become a male cheerleader.
You don't think Will Ferrell was acting weird in that movie, bro?
He was acting like an elf,
bro,
like a magical elf.
Keep playing with them L's and see what magic they put on you. Keep playing with them L's. You gonna have this on your daddy. There's something small in my room. Keep playing with it, bro. That demonic stuff, bro. The blood of Jesus rebukes thee. Bruh, put you watching that mess, bruh.
Watching that filth.
Watching that filth. That man in tights. That's what's wrong with these churches. They don't preach hellfire and brimstone, bruh.
So
I don't know how that correlates.
Anyway, J.E.
Elf gotta. Oh yeah.
So Elf's gotta go for you. For me, it's Home Alone. Leave in the comments which movie for you has to go. And we will comment back and discuss how we feel about that situation. I'm sure everyone's going to agree with me. I'm sure everyone's going to keep Elf and get rid of Home Alone.
They're not going to get rid of Home Alone, man.
By the way,
that was some people's first introduction to white people, bro.
You know what? I want to give the people a shout out for having my back on Fred Hammond versus Kirk Franklin.
Man, get out of here, bro.
You got reamed all week by angry Fred Hammond supporters who know.
No, because they're man, bro. Because their moms and dad only allowed Fred in the house. Kirk Franklin was controversial. Yeah, bro. Yes, it is true.
They listened to Kirk Franklin growing up, but as they became mature Christians, Josh, they realized that Fred Hammond's content is deeper and more soul piercing than
Tell Fred to get a better mixer and a person to master his stuff, bro. Fred, man. Listen,
they're gonna come for you again, man. The people gonna come.
No, let me tell the people, Kirk Franklin is still married. In a discussion.
That's a low blow, Josh.
No. A man who's not faithful to his leading y'all into worship, and his home is wrecked.
in all fairness, Kirk Franklin could be in the same boat. Now I'm going to leave it at that.
Nah, Kirk, man, listen, let me tell you something. I don't understand why I don't think y'all listen to Always by Kirk Franklin, Now Behold the Lamb. I don't understand why y'all haven't listened to My Love, My Life, My like there's some worship bangers. The storm is over now. Like it keeps going, bruh. Fred songs sound like they all had the same beat. I don't know, man. I listened to some Fred. He had some hits, bro. He had more than one hit. I just thought it was what's that? I forgot the title of the song. No Weapon. Yeah, he had some hits.
Absolutely.
Was Blessed? I think Blessed was one of them. They said over and over.
That was a more up tempo Fred Hammond banger.
Up tempo. That thing was Kirk's still the GOAT, man.
Anyway, we're not gonna have this argument again. Josh, do you have your Monday motivation for the people?
I sure do, man. I want to inspire you guys, motivate you guys to not wrestle against what you can see. A lot of people right now are wrestling against something that God never wanted you to wrestle. Some of you guys right now are at the foot of your mountain. You're wrestling with it versus speaking to it. I think a lot of people get so caught up on God making things happen versus making them happen for themselves. Therefore, they get so caught up in fighting back and forth, racism, classism, fighting against this thing in my life versus building your faith to fight against what you're facing. Some of us right now are stuck in situations where we're wrestling, and that wrestling leads to worry versus exercising at a high level in our authority in Christ. I'm telling you, you're only as strong as your commitment with God. I want to motivate you guys right now, inspiring you right now to dig deeper in God and stop wrestling. Spend time worshiping God instead of wrestling without God, because whatever you wrestle without God, you will lose. I'd rather for you to spend time worshiping, working, and building your strength in God so that you can have the strength to wrestle what you're wrestling versus trying to wrestle these things without acquiring God. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not, don't wrestle not, lean not into your own understandings. But in all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your paths. Don't go to your situation first. Go to your Savior first, and he'll give you the systems and strategies to defeat what you face. And that's all I got for you. Hope it made sense, but that's my motivational Monday moment with the coach.
That has been your weekly motivational moment with Coach Josh. We appreciate you for that, Josh. I hope that was a blessing for y'all. And I hope the podcast was a blessing for y'all. That is all we have got. We're going to be taking next week off. I will be sitting in my wool holiday onesie, sipping eggnog, watching chestnuts roast over an open fire.
Going to be in some yoga pants and a tube top.
Watching. That is absolutely not true. But anyway, that's all we got for the podcast today.
Man, I can't wait to get married to get a onesie, bro.
Hey, you got the footsies. You're covered. Your feet are warm. It's wool. It's comfortable. Anyway.
I just don't feel. I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna wait.
You're gonna wait till what?
Because I don't want nobody rolling up on me, and I'm in a onesie and I ain't married yet.
Yeah, you can't wear a onesie if you're single. Your manhood is in question. Once you have crossed the threshold of marriage, it is okay to wear a holiday onesie.
All right, man.
But anyway, leave comments. Comment on the podcast. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, you have anything that you want us to discuss on the podcast, leave it in the comments. We will discuss it on the next episode of the Good Guys podcast. Other than that, Josh, you got anything else for the people?
Hey, that's it, man. If you want to help support what I do, man, you can go to iamunplug.com. You can give, you can get involved if you're in the Charlotte area, or you can get me out to your city, man. It's booking season for the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to come to your colleges, ready to come to your church, your conferences, sit on a panel. Contact me at iamunplug.com or mycoachjosh.com. And contact me. I would love to see what I can do to serve you in your city and however God will lead.
That's what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out the Good Guys podcast. We will see y'all the week after next week. I hope y'all enjoy your holiday. Hope you enjoy some good food.
And never forget, you still there, B?
Yes.
And never forget, we're only good because he's good.
Sorry, I saw something crazy on TV. Yes, we are only good.
I try to give Jesus some love out here, bro. And then you was watching Elf, and he bent over to pick up that sheet of paper, and you was thrown off.
Maybe we should.
If you would have kept your eyes on Christ, bro, you would have ensured Christ got his shine. I'm over here trying to let the people know why we're good, and you over there being bad. It's a good guy podcast, not the good guys right now.
Oh man, hey, we appreciate y'all for listening. We are the Good Guys Podcast, and we are out.
Peace.